So we are going to start now with SAS expert level program, which is all about SAS SQL and SAS macro automations. So what I'll do now, guys, quickly, I'll be getting into the SAS programming window, and we'll start with SAS expert level program. Here, I just want to go for creating two program I want to create here. I'll be creating a new program, say Control S, going back to this folder for the expert. First, I want to save this code called SAS SQL. So I save this code called SAS underscore SQL code. Since I'm going to create this SAS SQL code, I just want to create my lib name SAS underscore SQL, and I want to give the file path which is coming from this dataset folder. I just copy this path and I paste it here to semicolon and say run to get my library. Right. So what my library has been created successfully. I can see that now. What are the content for this session particular we are going to create? So let me show you here what I'll be doing it. I haven't created this, but I'll be writing this one after how to create a table using PROC SQL. That is second, we'll talk about how to alter a table. Then we'll talk about how to drop, delete, and truncate table. Then we'll talk about here how to create a new dataset from an existing dataset. We'll also talk about 5 use of ALIAS to table and column name. We'll also talk about 6 how to describe a library and dataset. Then we'll talk about here 7 how to describe a library and a dataset. We'll also talk about here how to create a new table from an existing table by selecting few fields and filtering values. We'll also talk about here how to use case and when statement. Then we'll talk about 9 how to sort and summarize a dataset. Then we'll talk about here 10 is all about joining and relationship in SAS SQL. 11 is all about SAS functions, right? SAS functions. 12 is all about SAS views and procedures. So these are something we'll be doing it now. And as per this content, I'm just going to put it one by one to do this in SAS SQL. So first of all, what will I do here? So let me go ahead and create a table. So to creating a table, I'll just go to this data file. Now let me go to this table here where I want to go for getting a table with these many informations. So let's say I want to go for creating a table like this. Okay. So what I'll do here, I want to go for creating this table for you guys using your SAS SQL. So let me close this here. How will I go for creating first in SAS dataset? SAS, let's say made underscore data. Input, I'll call all this column input. Customer is number, company is going to be character, right? Then I can go for card registration date. Gender is going to my character. I have to do like this. Age state code is going to be character. Then I use your cards to copy paste these values. Having said this to here, I have to use what? In
Info.
file cards dsd dlm is equal to 09x. Now I run this program proc print data is equal to table name is what guys? Made data, and we say run. If I run this program, you get this output is coming. Why I'm not getting this output for card registration date? Because I have to define this by in format.
In format.
Card registration date is in which format, guys? Can anyone tell me? It is in dd mm yy dd mm 10 dot format. How do you write this format? Card registration date is mmddyy 10 dot format. Now let's do this. Does it work for you guys, everyone? It is working. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Now the question is coming, how would I go for creating this in SAS SQL? Are you getting this, guys? What will you do here to create that data set in SAS SQL? You write what? PROC SQL. Create table called made underscore data. Then bracket start, bracket close. You can write here semicolon. Then you can say quit and close. Beside this, what will you write here? You write student underscore ID is called char of, let's say 30 character long. This is called student ID. Sorry, you have your customer ID. Since it is numeric, you will keep it as it is. Then you will have a variable called company, which you will be writing here char of, that's a 30 character long. This is the data type. Then you will go for card registration date. So how would you go for giving this card a registration date for you guys? You can just say date format. Then you have gender. Put this gender as char of 10 character long. Then go for age as integer. Then go for state underscore code, which is char of 15 character long. So this is how you're going to create your table now. Once you run this program, it throws me an error saying that create table customer ID. Then it is giving as an error here. Why it is happening? So why it is coming this as an error, which is not supposed to be happening? Look at this error saying that syntax. You can just write integer and create this. As of now, saying age is also going to integer, just put it as it is. Otherwise not taking here. Okay. Fine. So I got my table. Now how to insert values to this table? What will you do now, guys? Here you will say proc SQL. Then you write quit. Then here you will write insert into the table name is what? Made data. Then You have to write your values, bracket start, bracket close. Like that, you have to write it for how many times? 3 times. 1, 3, 4, 5. How many records you have? Total is 7, 6, and 7. Here, you have to give this value, copy this, put it over here, put this value as single quote. You cannot write this way. You have to write here 12th September. What was the date, guys? Here 2006 D. So you have to write the date format should be going like this. D, female is character. Keep this as it is. Keep this in. Now, if you want to repeat the same thing to the next row value, this is called as your this value here. Just simply put it this way, comma, it is in single quote. How will you write these guys here? 12 September 2006. Right. Then you can say the female 39, and this is called West Australia. Now I'll go for the next row value. Only 3 records we'll be taking. We'll see how things are happening. Single quote as, let's say I want to put it here. This is 15th August. Let me put it here to male. Right. If you run this query, what is happening? It's saying that one row affected. Now, if you go for writing PROC SQL, select star from made underscore data, and you say here quit. What happens, guys? If you run this program, it shows you output here. But how to see this column completely? For that, you can call this individual column name, customer ID, and all. But if you're writing a dot star, now the output which is coming, customer ID, since it is more than 9 character, it is just showing that in exponential value, but you can always define the length to see the output completely and correctly. Now, what you can do here, we simply write the program like PROC SQL, select customer underscore ID as format equals to 15 dot. You can write this way, or then you can go for the next field called company. Then you go for card registration date. You can choose card registration date as a format of MMDDYY 10 dot. Then we have called gender. Then we can go for age and state underscore code. From the table name is made underscore data, and you can say quit. If you run this program, this time you see the values are coming perfectly because you can read, you define this format in the programming part. So this is how, guys, we can go for getting this table ready using PROC SQL. Secondly, How to alter a table? To alter in table, write what? PROC SQL. Then quit. Inside this, you write alter table. Table name is made underscore data. You will say add. Let's say I want to put it as country as char of 20 character long. If I run this program here, what is happening? It's showing that there is a new field has been added called country. Is this clear to all? Is this clear to all, guys? Everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
To drop a column, alter table, you can simply write drop column, or simply you can write just drop. Where can? See what is happening if you say drop country. It's saying that there is no field called country is coming. So this is how you can go for dropping. Renaming, we can simply go for using ALIAS to rename. That's not a problem. We can always do that. But if you want to search here, go to ChatGPT, SAS SQL to rename a column. It's saying write the program here called made underscore data. Rename old column name is called customer underscore ID. I want to call this as sub underscore ID. If you run this query, I think rename is not working here. What it suggested, I was also expecting the same thing to be happening. Even if, or if we found that rename is not happening perfectly, I think this is not the right way to do. The table name is made data at rename customer underscore ID as your field name subscriber underscore ID. Then state underscore code as you want to call this as province. Does it work? Let me see. If I go back to my data set, it is showing some error. Rename saying that is syntax error. We cannot use rename in SAS SQL. So we can just say that we cannot use directly rename in SAS SQL. So we can go for renaming using data step, then we can use it. Then drop, delete, and truncating table. If it's a PROC SQL, drop table, table name is made data, and you can say quit. What is happening guys here? Its commands completed successfully. If you write here, PROC print data is equal to made data, it will say this table is no more exist, does not exist because it is completely dropped now. Since you have dropped, let's create this table one more time. Once you create this table, I won't delete this table. What I'll write here, I'll write PROC SQL quit. Then in between I'll write here delete table. Table is made data. Let's see. When you run this program, you cannot write delete table here. You just write delete star from this table. If you do that, it's saying that 7 rows are affected. That means currently you have a table, but there is no record inside the table. That's how you can go for deleting the table. Is this clear now, guys? How to go for dropping, how to go for deleting?
Yes, sir.
Now, if you go after delete to search for the table, it's saying that what? That no observation in this table. Only table is there, but there is no record inside the table. That's what will come. Now, if you want to set truncate table, you write PROC SQL truncate table. Table name is this. Remember, guys, if you run this program, it will throw an error, right? So in SAS SQL, truncate never works. These are something we have to remember about basic SQL programming in SAS. How to go for creating a new table from an existing table. Let's do one thing. Go back to this data, upload a file from your SAS crash course data. Let me go for reading this file. So I have an Excel file which is called May 2025. I'll go here to write options valid van name equal to v7. Then write proc import out is equal to made underscore 2025. I'll go for data file is equal to this is the file path. Then I can write here dbms is equal to xlsx replace sheet underscore name. You just write sheet equals to give the sheet name from this file. It's called sheet 1, nothing to give. Simply go here, no sheet is required, and run. When you run this program, you see your May 2025 dataset has been imported. Right, guys? Now, the next question is how to use alias to a table and column name. For example, PROC SQL, select star from made underscore 2025 as a table, and it's a quit. So what light here? Select a dot star. A dot star from this table means the entire table is going to be selected. That's
May
how you can
2025.
2025.
2025.
25.
Yes. If you run this program, it will select this entire table. But if you do that, your system is going to hang because you're going to print 5,112 records. That's the problem. So it's going to take your system time. Sometimes it will also get hanged. Right? What is it saying? The size of the result is getting more than 3 MB, insufficient memory because I'm using University Studio where I have a given space of 5 GB in the cloud. Insufficient memory could cause performance problem. I said, do not display then. If I want to display, I will say number equals to 10. If you do that, it is going to print only. It's saying that you cannot write number like this. You have to write what? Out ops equal to 10. Now run this program, see what is happening. Is also not taking out ops. What is that? It should be taking. Mm,
Sir, we have
numeric.
to write without the bracket.
Yes, it is coming 10 records, top 10 records. This is how you can see this. Now, how to go for describing your libraries, describing libraries or data sets in your program. The normally the program will go like this way. So let me show you here.
Sir, in the question number 4, we have done only importing part.
How to create new data set. Okay. Yes, yes. Okay. So now what I will do here, I'll be showing you guys how to go for describing library. But before that, let me write you here. We understood about alias of the table name, which we are calling this. Coming back to here, alias of the column name means proc SQL. Then say quit. In between, you when you write select a dot customer underscore ID, a dot company, a dot gender, a dot age, a dot state underscore code, and a dot spent underscore amount from May 2025
The
as
customer
a table. So if you run this program, it is going to create alias, and then I can write here out ops is equal to 10. It's just going to print the first 10 records using this alias to the column name. Now we can also call this as, this is called subscriber underscore ID. We can call this as state code as province. We can call this as spent here. So this is how we can go for using alias to the column name to be presented. Now what happens? You might be seeing that. So I use sub ID. Then why my output is coming here with customer ID? Now let's see here. When you run this program, there's an error and warning message. Statement terminate early due to ops out of equal to 10. So it's saying that while you're going to this use of alias, it is not going to create, because it is going to create your output. The only issue is that it is not going to give you the rename variable. However, if you go for creating a new table from this, if you write here PROC SQL create table made new arch, select data from this. Okay. In this case, when you go for creating a new table, then only you can see your header or your call variable name has been changed. Is this clear? Is this clear? Guys, are you getting this?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Right. So we will be discussing here how to go for describing data sets or the library. And now whatever data sets we created in what? Work library now. Yes or no, guys? Right. So let's search here how to describe a library and dataset in SAS SQL. It is good programming, guys. If you just simply write here PROC SQL, go for library as work library, take uh, the lib name, member type, and run this program. See what is happening. It shows you here no row selected. Just the work library. So when we are writing describe table work dot made underscore data, what is doing here? It is going to describe work dot meta was created like, it is describing that this particular data set is having these are the variables, which is called customer ID is a number, your company is varchar, card registration date is mmddyy, in format was ddmmyy. It is giving the complete description of this. Now the same program, if I write like this, Let's say you call this as a work library. You call this as made underscore 2025. If you run the program here, it is going to give you a complete details, that variable name, the variable data type, the length, what is the format, what is the label for each variable is going to show you as a description. That is how you can see this example here. Is this clear now, guys? How to go for describing your library and how to go for describing your dataset in SAS SQL, guys? Clear now? PROC SQL select name, type, length, format, label from dictionary.columns where live name is equal to work and member name, MEM name means member name is dataset name is 2025. So now it is going to describe the complete dataset of this. Just in case you want to go for describing your table name called work library, the table name is called made underscore data. It is just going to describe your table as made underscore data is having these are the variables, these are the data types, and it has used only the format of this. That is what is going to give you the details as here. Now, how to go for creating a new table from an existing table by selecting few variables. Here is an example. I can write proc SQL, create table, made underscore select, Aj select, the field name is custom underscore ID, company, gender, age, state underscore code, then town, then go for spent underscore amount from made underscore 2025, where company in Apollo, comma, Cipla, comma, Geno, bracket close, and gender equals to female. It is case sensitive, so it has to write this way, and age greater equal to 60, and state underscore code in NSW QLD West Australia, and you say quit. If you run this program, you see the new table is coming called made select, is having field like customer ID, company, gender, age, state code, town, and spend amount. Does it make sense to all of you guys? How
Yes,
to go
sir.
for creating a new table from an existing table, right? Okay. Now, before going for case and when, we'll talk about how to create calculated field and use of this. So calculated field means, guys, let's say I have a table which shows the product sold out in India, Japan, Malaysia, Korea, and Singapore. The product is called Apple, called Dell, called Lenovo, called HP, called Acer. Sales is happened random between 100,000 to 10,000. So I select this here and I put it. Control C, paste special values. What I'll do here, guys, I'll create proc SQL. Just go for create dataset as it is. Data prod underscore sales in file cards DSD DLM is equal to 09x input prod character field to India, Japan, Japan, right? Malaysia and Singapore. Then I use cards, paste these values here. Called PROC print data is equal to prod cells. If I run this program, I get my output is coming here. Now what I'm doing here, guys, I'm saying PROC SQL and say quit. In between, I write here select prod, comma, India, Japan, Malaysia, Korea, and Singapore from prod underscore cells. If you run this program, you see the output which is coming here. The column name Korea and Singapore is not there. Spelling is wrong. This is Korea and Singapore. If I run this program, it is how India, Japan, Malaysia, Korea, Singapore is coming. What I do here, guys, I use sum of all as total underscore sales. If I run this program, I got this, sorry,
Singapore, sir.
right. If I run this program, I got this error because when I say sum of, okay, let's run this program. Does it give the total sum, guys, here, everyone? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Now, I can create here India over calculator. What is the field name? Total sales as India share. Same way, I call this as this is for Japan. I'll say Japan market share. I'll say Malaysia. I'll say Malaysia market share. I'll say Korea to be divided by calculated total sales as Korea market share. If I say it here to Singapore, it comes as Singapore share. Now, if you run this program, I got some error because I forgot to put my comma. If I run this program, I got this where I can calculate my market share based on total sales. What is the market share for Apple in India, Japan, Malaysia, Korea, and Singapore? How to present them all? Let's say format $15. You can use the same format to this, to this, to this, and to this. For this, use format %8.2. You can apply the same format here to this also, to this also, to this also, and to this. If you run this program, what do you see? Percent, PRECENT. Now, if you run this program, what do you see? It is in dollar format, and this is coming in 2 decimal values with the percentage. Does it make sense to all? How to go for using calculated field?
Yes, sir.
This cannot be happening in SAS SQL, a normal SQL server. This only happens in SAS, where we call this as a calculated field. That means taking one field as a which is the expression, take that expression to calculate another expressions. For that, we have to call calculated expression field name. Is this clear to all? What is called calculated?
Yes, sir.
Right. Then, how to use case and when statement? Let's say PROC SQL and say quit. You write the program, select here to custom underscore ID, company, gender, age, state underscore code, and spend underscore amount from made underscore 2025. You can use here case when age greater equal to 60, then old hyphen age when age greater equal to 40, then call mid age, else call young age, end as age underscore bucket, spend amount case when spend underscore amount greater than equal to 1000, then we call this as a premier when spend amount greater equal to 500, then we call this as advance, else we call this as regular, and as customer segment. Are you getting this, guys? If you run this program, you see it will throw an error because it's going to print around 5,000 records, but it's okay. It is printed now. You can see how your age bucket is coming and how your customer segment is coming, writing PROC SQL program. Is this clear now, guys?
Yes, sir.
How to go for sorting and summarizing data? For example, PROC SQL, select state underscore code, company, count of customer underscore ID as subscriber. Now, mean of, write here MEAN, mean of age as average age, sum of number of trips as total visits, sum of spent underscore amount as total underscore spent from made underscore 2025, group by, you will go with what? Both state underscore code, comma, company, order by 1, comma 2. So this is how you can write here to quit. If you run this program, what is happening? State code company wise, you can see subscriber, average age, total visits, and the spend amount. You can do make this as format 10 dot, comma. You can make it as format 10 dot, comma. Then you can make this as format 10 dot, comma. Then you can say format $15 dot. If you run this query, you see the output is coming in dollar and number formats here. SQL views and procedures. So SQL views. It is and procedures in SAS SQL. Same way the create view name. You can write the program this way. And for the stored procedure, so normally let me go for view. I can create the view here. PROC SQL create view made underscore summary Aj. Let's say this is the program. Then I can say quit. Now, while creating this view, I'm using order by. Let's see what is happening. It's saying your view has been created. Now, how your view is going to store? If you go back to your, now since you created your made summary as a view, you might be thinking my view is going to store somewhere in this program. I'll go to the code. I can see my view. No, just go back to the libraries. Go to the work libraries. You can see there's a made summary view as stored here. Can you see this, guys, everyone? Can you see this?
Yes, sir.
To drop view, you write proc SQL. You can say quit. You will use your drop view and the view name. That's it. If you run this program, you see view is over. If you go back to the work library, there's no view. View is deleted now. Right? Now, how to go for stored procedure? Look at here, guys. It is saying in your SAS SQL, there is nothing called procedure. It is SAS macro only. So you can say SQL store procedure never works in SAS SQL. We use SAS macro for that. Right? Now, guys, one more thing I want to tell you. Use of coalesce function in SAS SQL. So coalesce means if the value is blank, it is going to change the value, character numeric, the way you want to call it. So use of coalesce function in SAS SQL. Create a sample dataset using data step. If I run this program, okay. So we have a dataset called customer contact. If I run this program, it shows there are lots of blanks. Are you able to see this, guys?
Yes,
There are
sir.
blanks are coming. So what happens, guys, when you say coalesce function, we write the program this way. We say proc SQL, customer ID, mobile 1, mobile 2, mobile 3. Coalesce mobile 1, 2, 3 as the contact number. If you run this program, what is it happening here? It is taking this number from here. It's taking this number from here to here. Wherever the value is missing, saying dot, otherwise it's going to change. Now, how coalesce is going to replace the value? You can simply write the program saying that let's say I have these three columns. Let's say I can say coalesce these two 10 times 9. Aj mobile 1. Same thing. We repeat this two here.
Some mobile.
So this is called mobile 2. This is called mobile 3. It's 2, this 3, and now the table name is what? Customer contact. If you do so, what is happening?
Some mobile MO. O is missing.
So down MOBIL.
Sorry, what did you say?
Mobile in
So
mobile
mobile
O.
spelling, sir. MOBIL. So down, sir, down. Yes.
This is 3 and this is 2.
As okay.
It's changed already. So you can say format 15 dot. Does it work now, guys? Wherever the values were missing, is called this as a 999. Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Now, there's a question comes. Look at this table. It's given this product sales. I want to find out max sales, call max sales country name. What is the maximum sales is happening here, guys? Tell me. What is the maximum sales is happening? Which country is the maximum sales is happening?
Japan.
I'll write here Japan. Which country is the maximum sales is happening?
Korea.
Korea.
I'll write here Korea. Which country the maximum sales is happening for this?
India.
India.
Right, India. Which is the maximum sales happening for
Korea.
this HP?
Korea.
Korea. Which is the maximum sales happening for ASA?
Japan.
Japan.
How will you get that in Excel? You'll add what? Max of this? Yes or no,
Yes.
guys?
Yes, sir.
What you'll do here? You will find the position of what? You'll find what light here, guys? Match up this within this. What is it saying here?
Fifth position.
What is it giving the output, guys, here?
Second.
In the second column. Yes or no?
Yes. Yes.
Right. Now, I have to find out the way you see this country name is coming, na? So, how to find this position here? I can say index function within this row array column is this. Can you see this, guys?
So I have to fix.
Right. Does it work, guys?
Yes, sir.
What I did, tell me. What I did. If I want to get the same thing not in 3, how will I do that in Excel? I'll say index. within this array, row 1, find the position. Yes or no, guys? We're
Yes, sir.
using match. Max of what? This all. Within what? This. Is it coming? Is it coming?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
What is going to change here? When you drag this, it is also giving the same result. Here, is it giving the same result, guys? Now the question is coming, how would you get this output using your SAS programming? Can we get that? How will you do this? Put your thought process and tell me. I want to get use of logical programming to get the max sales country name as the column value. Think logically. How to do this? Is there any way we can do it, guys? PROC SQL, select. What light here? Select broad India, Japan, Malaysia, Korea, and Singapore from broad underscore sales. And you can say quit. Right? Mesa. I get this output. What conditional write here in SQL to get the country name here? Can anyone tell me, guys?
Sir, case one statement.
How will you go for doing that?
Case one statement.
Tell me how will you do this. Yes. When? Then what?
Sir, when the
If
max of
India is greater than Japan, right? And India is greater than Malaysia, and India is greater than
Korea.
Korea, and India is greater than Singapore. Then what? India. Yes or no? When Japan is greater than India. Japan is Malaysia, Japan is Korea, Japan is Singapore, then Japan. Now, why I'm saying this? This is an interview question, guys. And when it has been asked, you should not be fumbling how to answer. Now, Malaysia is greater than this. Malaysia is greater than Japan, right? Malaysia is greater than Korea. Malaysia is greater than Singapore. Then is Malaysia. Same thing. You will go for applying is what? Korea now. If Korea is greater than this, Korea is greater than this, Korea is greater than Japan, and Korea is greater than Singapore, then Korea. Same thing. For the last country name, guys?
Singapore.
Singapore, Singapore, Singapore. Singapore is greater than Korea. Then Singapore. Else, others. And as max sales country name. Does it help you to get the right output, guys? Does it help?
Yes, sir.
Now, I take this, get another way. Max up this. When India, then India. When Japan, then Japan. Then let's apply this. What I did, it was a little manual, but does this work? Does this work, guys? Everyone, did you understand what I did? Case when max up this value, when India is India, when Japan is Japan, when Malaysia is Malaysia, when Korea is Korea, when Singapore is Singapore, the other is others. Or another way to do this way. Max of this, if max sales equal to India, then India. If it is Japan, then max sales country is Japan. You can write the program this way to get the output. Another way to do this, or there's a function called use SAS function winchin. This is the program. What you're doing here, you're selecting max sales is the max value, max country name, scan, India, Japan, Malaysia, Korea, Australia, winchin the max. If you run this program, there's a function which is going to get you the country name here called max sales. What is the index now? The way you did that in Excel, same thing is also happening here. What it's doing, it is going to find out scan of this. This is the value, text value. Winchin is going to take that, the maximum, the which country is the maximum sales value from here, max sales of India, Japan, Singapore, whatever the max sales. Based on this, it is going to find out the position and giving this column name as max sales country name. Another way to do this, I think this is too much. Having said this, we have finished a SAS SQL programming now. Now guys, we'll be going for SAS macro program. We'll take a small break here for 15 minutes. We'll start the SAS macro. But did you understand what is happening here in this program? Max sales is going to find out what is the maximum sales. For example, if imagine we do not have this function. If you run this query, what you see here, it is showing the maximum sales. Between what? Between India, Japan, Malaysia, Korea, and Singapore. What are the maximum sales? Then it is used here the max sales country equal to scan between this country name. Winchin is going to take the maximum value. Whichever the country is having maximum value, it is pulling that information as your max country name. This is another set of example which has been asked. Either way, you can tell them about your knowledge understanding through the data step or using proc step how to find out the maximum sales country name as the column name. Is this clear all everyone?
So, my name is Vibhu. Can you explain the scan function once again? We use scan to find the exact position of a delimiter as well.
Okay, I'll tell you what is happening here. If you write A, comma B, comma C, comma D, comma E is the text, right? I want to go for text 1. I will say scan of text. Okay, 1 for this comma. Then I go for text 2, which I take it here equal to scan of 2. Then I go for test 3, test 4, test 5. 3 here, 4 here, 5 here. I'll say this is 3, this is 4, and this is 5. Then call run proc print data is equal to X. If you run this program, what is happening? It is going to pull based on this scan. What is scan? 1 says 1 means before the first comma, 2 means after the first comma, 3 means after the second comma, 4 means after the third comma, 5th means after the fourth comma. What is the value? That is all is going to come under scan. Is this clear?
Yes,
Is
sir.
this clear? Now,
Yes, sir.
now when you say winchin function, how winchin function is doing? It is creating the max sales. Already max sale is given is the value. It is searching for the value from this India, Japan, Malaysia, Korea, which column this max sale falls. Getting that as a the column name is 2 means column name is 3 means is going to find out which column should be selected from this through scan. Since it is a space as a delimiter, you don't have to define anything. Just simply say scan of 1, it is India. For example, let's do this programming here. You write A space B space C space D space E. So you don't define anything now. Since space is a delimiter, what it is doing, it is automatically identify A, B, C, D, E. Yes or no? Without giving the position. Are you getting it? Are you getting this? If it is a comma delimiter, then you have to give it as 1, 2, 3, 4. How to read it? If it is a space, you don't have to define anything as a delimiter. Simply write 1, 2, 3, 4. It will find out from this. This is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4, and this is 5. That's how scan function works. Clear?
Okay.
Right.